How does simple reproduction differ from primitive accumulation? Have you ever wondered how economies maintain themselves without growing? Today, we will discuss the difference between simple reproduction and primitive accumulation, two key concepts in the analysis of capitalism by Karl Marx. Simple reproduction is a process where production repeats itself on the same scale. In this scenario, all surplus value created by workers is consumed by capitalists as personal income. The economy does not expand. It simply sustains itself. The means of production and labor are used up and replaced in the same quantities as before. This concept shows how capital can maintain itself over time without increasing the economy's size. On the flip side, primitive accumulation refers to the historical process that laid the groundwork for capitalism. This term describes how producers were separated from their means of production. This separation often involved force, violence, or legal changes. A small group gained control over land and resources, leaving others with nothing to sell but their labor. Marx called it so-called primitive accumulation to highlight that it was not a peaceful process but one marked by expropriation and dispossession. Now, let's break down the main differences between these two concepts. First, the nature of the process differs. Simple reproduction is an ongoing economic process within a developed capitalist system. In contrast, primitive accumulation is a historical process that enables capitalism to emerge. Next, consider the purpose and outcome. Simple reproduction maintains the existing capitalist relations, while primitive accumulation disrupts older forms of production and creates new capitalist relations. The agents involved also vary. In simple reproduction, capitalists and workers operate within the capitalist system. Primitive accumulation, however, involves broader social forces like the state and dispossessed peasants or artisans. Lastly, economic growth is another key difference. Simple reproduction does not lead to growth. It is static. Primitive accumulation is about the initial gathering of wealth and resources that allows for future growth and expansion under capitalism. Understanding these concepts helps clarify how capitalism sustains itself and how it originally came into being. Simple reproduction illustrates the routine operation of capitalism, while primitive accumulation reveals the violent origins of capitalist property relations. This distinction is essential for socialists because it shows that capitalism is not a natural system but one built on specific historical events. These concepts inform critiques of capitalism and support arguments for alternative economic systems based on collective ownership and democratic control. In summary, simple reproduction and primitive accumulation are central to Marx's critique of capitalism. Simple reproduction explains how capitalism can continue without growth, while primitive accumulation explains how capitalism began. Together, they provide a framework for understanding both the stability and the historical context of capitalist economies.